Hello everyone and welcome to the Agrarian Skies Let's Play. My name is Xaviar, so we're going to go ahead and start this off. Just a note, I have installed Optifine and a shaders pack initially, just to start, because I believe it looks a lot better than the normal Minecraft, so we're going to go ahead and start. I've gone ahead and had the world generated from the Feed the Beast launcher, as you can see here. Let's go ahead and rename it. Okay, now that we got our name, you'll notice that here that says survival mode cheats. However, we cannot currently cheat. This is just how it generates. So let's go ahead and play. You can ignore any ID mismatches it generates. Now that we're in, you'll notice we spawn inside of a house. There is a chest in front of us. And what appears to be an island made completely of green stained clay. Oh, and it looks like brown stained clay too. We have one dirt block, and we also, up here, if you look, have 4 water blocks. So we have a water source, and we have our dirt. And basically, the objective of Agrarian Skies is to tier up until you complete everything in this quest book.
It has been
Once you open this up, you'll hear the audio in the background. You can go ahead and click start if you just wish to skip that, or you can right-click and click to play it again or read through all of this. This basically just explains what Agrarian Skies is. It's the story. But I'm not really interested in the story of it. It's not really that important. So, you'll notice in the quest book we have a bunch of different numbers of quest lines. And if you go ahead and click open on the first one, you'll notice that there's a quest right here. And if you click it, it tells you exactly what you need to do. On the right hand side for this quest, we have to craft a wooden plank. Obviously with this, we'll need to have some kind of tree growing. So, if you guessed was right, we have a piece of dirt here. Now where did we get our tree? So, to get our tree, what we need to do is we need to actually go up into this chest. You start out with 3 trees, but we actually need an oak tree. So let's get our oak and our bone meal. Now one thing I want to point out before we even start growing this tree is if you click and break this dirt block, you open the chest underneath of it. There's actually 7 dirt stored in a dirt chest, 9,000 underneath of this. It's very important when starting out because it can allow you to grow things up at a lot faster of a rate than you could normally. Let's go ahead and plant these 2 apart each time so we make sure that the trees grow. We can go ahead and do them over here too. And off the fence. And then for our final one, we'll place it up here. Now that we have this going, we can go ahead and grow our tree. Give it some bone meal. And there you go. Now we have our tree. We can go ahead and chop this down, get some wood, and get started. You'll notice I've gotten the tree completely chopped down. Now the important thing here is, before you do anything else, you need to sit here and break leaves until you get a sapling. If you do not get an oak sapling back, you're going to be in big trouble later on. You have to go and do your quests. Unless you get really lucky with the quest delivery system and somehow manage to do it without the oak. So, for whatever reason, it appears we have broken all of these and not received an oak sapling back. Now this is a little troublesome because what are we going to do without an oak sapling? If we can't create oak items later, we're going to be in trouble with the quest system. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to grow a birch sapling and hope for the best of luck. Later on, we're going to get an oak sapling back. As you'll notice, I've received a birch sapling from breaking these leaves, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. In a very, very unlucky scenario, you could be going into this, use all 3 of your trees, and have none of them give you saplings back. If they had a 0% rate, you would be in a lot of trouble. Now we're just cleaning up what's left of the tree. Once we get this tree down, we'll go ahead and start on our quests. The main thing is, when you first start out, you need a lot of wood to start off. So we need to collect as much as possible. Go ahead and replant our sapling. We can come over here and replant our other 2 saplings, just so we can get some trees going. Just to make sure I didn't miss it before somehow, Let's walk the perimeter and look for an oak sapling. It doesn't look like there is one. There may have been one and it might have fell into the water and got voided. However, we just got unlucky this time. So we're going to go ahead and come in here and start our quests. Now the quest system, how it starts off is you need to craft a wooden oak plank for the first quest. Now basically all you need to do is go ahead and just do exactly as it says, craft the oak plank. And there you go, it completes the quest. Now you can claim your reward. You'll notice for this one, we've received a pickaxe and an apple. That'll give us 2 apples and a pickaxe to break the clay with, or the walls, or whatever we want to do with it. For the next quest, what we're looking to do is we need to manually complete this quest. So, we need 1 wooden oak plank, which we do have. Let's go ahead and manually submit it and claim our reward. Now with this, what we get is the quest delivery system. Quest delivery system allows you to deliver items to a quest before completing it. So, if we open our quest book, we right click, we click on the quest delivery system quest, we'll notice it says use the hopper from the starting chest to feed planks into this. This is where that hopper comes into handy. Now we got the hopper, we'll go ahead and place it on top. Oops, it looks like it might have placed it against the back. Go ahead and shift right click, and there we go. The hopper is on top. Now to tell this quest delivery system what quest we want it to be on, what we need to do is right click our quest book, select the task of the quest, so just click on the quest, then click select task, and right click, and that will assign it. Now all we need to do is we need to throw the item it asks for in there, so the oak wood planks, so we go ahead and throw one in. You'll notice the mushroom head disappears, and then when you open your quest book again, it completes that part of the quest. Now for the next part of the quest, it wants us to submit the hopper back to them because we are too low tech for iron, and we are not allowed to have hoppers early on. So go ahead and manually submit that and claim our reward. Now after claiming our reward, you'll notice we've received 2 items that are new to us. A full heart. What you do with this is you right click it and you gain an extra life. You start out with 2 lives, so it's important to pick any of these up just in case you die. And a reward bag. Each of these will have a different tier. This one is a basic, it's the lowest level, and it will give you an item that is within its tier. So let's go ahead and open this. Looks like we got slime saplings. It's a really, really good start. Let's go ahead and use this. Let's go ahead and plant our slime sapling. Just to get this started, you know, we might be able to use some slime early on. We'll be able to see what we can do. Put the extra one back in here. Now we got some birch wood and some oak wood. Remember, we are limited on oak wood, so we want to save that for any items that might have to do with the oak quests. So if we open our quest book again, you'll notice you received in the beginning. This is the first large quest where you have to create multiple items to complete. In this quest, you will be crafting a crafting station, which is basically a crafting table put into the crafting grid to create this, which is allowed to access chests that are nearby it. It's a very handy item. A chest, obviously we need something to store more stuff in. The part builder, tool station, and stencil table, these are all items from Tinker's Construct that allow us to make tools early on. The oak barrel is from Ex Nihilo, and this will allow us to make dirt and clay, depending on what we put inside of it. And the crook, which will allow us to get silkworms from trees, and it'll also allow us to get saplings a lot easier. So, to start this off, let's go ahead and make our crafting station. To make our crafting station, obviously, it's easy enough to do. Go ahead and make your birchwood planks. Your crafting table, we'll put it back in there and get a crafting station. We can go ahead and throw this down here just to have it ready and going. Now for our next item, what we need to do is make a chest. So let's go ahead and get our chest ready. Here's the chest. We got it down. Now what we need to do from here on is create those 3 items from Tinker's Construct. To do this, what you'll need to do is you go ahead and turn what birch or whatever kind of wood you have into planks. We need to make a few sticks, believe 3 of the recipe should be enough. And then, if we separate these, and use the 2 extra planks that we received here from the first one, that should give us just enough to do that. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do, just because we're low on this oak wood and I want to save every bit of it I can, I'm going to go ahead and chop some more trees. So we're going to go out here and grow our trees. Now we've got all of our trees chopped down, so let's go ahead and replant these right here. That way later on when we need wood, those will be grown. So now that we have this wood, we can go ahead and come in here and create our next few items. Now to create the tinker's items, there are a few recipes. What you'll need is, you'll need a crafting table, just a normal Minecraft one. You will need a chest, again, another chest. So we get a chest. And you will also need 1 wood, just normal wood, and then you will need 1 plank with these 4 blank patterns. Now basically what you're going to do is you're going to put each of these items in here and add the blank pattern on top of it, and it will give you one of the versions of the Tinker's Construct tool stations. And basically what these are good for is they are good for creating new tools and new weapons. Now that we've got all these made, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and place them down. So let's just find a nice spot, throw this down here. This one, you want this to be in the middle of your part builder and your tool station, because what these do is whenever you open one of these up, well, not the tool station anymore, but whenever you open the part builder up specifically, it opens up the pattern chest inventory, and you can pull patterns out of here and use the materials in your inventory without having to open this up and having to hold all the patterns, and it'd be a big hassle. So we're going to go ahead and break this one fancy redstone brick. There we are. And we can put our stencil table underneath and we'll be good to go. And actually, we're going to go ahead and break this one too, because what this will allow us to do is move our crafting table over. And there we are. We have our wall of items that we need. We're going to go ahead and put some storage over here. And this is basically what you need to get started. Now, the next step of this quest is to go ahead and make an oak barrel and a crook. This is where, as I said before, you'll be needing that oak. So if you search the oak barrel, or just search barrel, you'll find that there's actually multiple versions of it. But however, we need the oak barrel in this case. So you need 6 planks and 1 slab. So let's go ahead and create some planks. We need to create our slabs from the planks. Put the 1 slab in there and our 6 planks, and we get our oak barrel. Now what you want to do with your oak barrel is, if it's still raining outside, it tends to rain when you first start out, you can go ahead and place this down out here and fill it up with water. Later on we'll be able to fill this up with water with glass bottles. However, this is a fast way to fill it with water. As you can see, it is filling with water from the rain. So now what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to make the crook. The crook is a very simple recipe. You just go ahead and put in the crafting table 4 sticks like this. It will create the crook. And that is the end of that quest. So we can go ahead and right click the quest book. Now for this one you have to actually pick what you want to be your reward. If you want an axe, you can pick an axe. If you want the pan, you can actually get a pan to cook food in. Now generally what I tend to do is I select the pan, because the pan will allow you to cook food early on, which is very important. Once you get a fishing rod, it's going to save your life. You've also noticed that we've received a 1/4 of a heart, which we cannot currently use because it is only a 1/4 of a heart. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and store this. Then, other than that, you receive another reward basic pack. So let's go ahead and open it. And we've received 3, or no, that it looks like 8 chicken jerky. And these, I believe, are indeed just food. So we've kind of lucked out. We get a little bit of food here. These don't give any wellness buff. They're just a good food source, so let's go ahead and eat some up. Generally, if food gives a wellness buff early on, what you'll want to do is you'll not want to eat them all at once like that. You'll want to eat one, wait till the wellness buff runs out, and then eat another. As you've noted, this tree is grown, so we can go ahead and just wait on those to grow, and then we'll be able to chop all this down again. all of these items right here, or at least all of them except the hammer, require that you have string. To get these items, what you need to do is you need to create what is called a silkworm. To get the silkworm, if you remember the crook that we have, you go ahead and left click these leaves with the crook, and eventually you will receive what is known as a silkworm. So it looks like we may have not received a silkworm at all from this one, so let's go ahead and replant the tree. We have gotten a lot of saplings, so what we can do is we can go ahead and plant our other sapling up here. And I can show you the first use of this oak barrel. First of all, I believe we are going to want to empty this. However, to do that we actually need to break it, because we do not currently need the water. What we need actually is the empty oak wood barrel. Or in this case, actually what I think we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a new barrel. So let's create a birch barrel. Here we are. We have a birch barrel. Now what we can do is we can put this inside, making sure it doesn't get filled up with water. Now what the birch barrel is used for is it's used to create dirt from compost. So what you need to do is you need to place organic materials such as apples or birch saplings, for example, inside of this to create the compost. So let's go ahead and fill this up with some of these and an apple, and there you go. As you can see at the top, it is composting currently, so we have to wait on this to get a block of dirt. Now, I believe the ratio is about 13 saplings for a block of dirt, but let me know in the comment section below if that's wrong, and I'll be sure to follow up on that with everyone. Now, well, oh look, our slime sapling has grown, so we can go ahead and collect some slime. It appears that when using the crook on the slime tree, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you get the same effects that you do when using it on a normal tree. So if you use the crook on a slime tree, you should receive saplings more often. Now I'm going to let the rest of that tree decay. Now let's see if there's anything we can do with our slime saplings. Looks like you can turn this congealed green slime into slime balls, and obviously slime balls would be a really useful item. So let's see what slime balls can go into. Ooh, there's an item called a sticker from Java that might be useful later. There's also the squeegee from OpenBlocks, which we might be able to use. And a safari net, which may be very useful in the future if we can get a hold of leather somehow. But once we figure that out, we'll find out more about that. So for now, let's go ahead and store our slime. We'll go ahead and store our extra saplings. We have our apples here, so we want to keep those on us. And it appears our dirt is indeed ready, so you just right click this with your hand, you get your dirt out, and that's it. So let's go ahead and put some more apples in here and get it composting again so we can get more dirt. The objective here is to get as much dirt as possible because you're going to need the dirt to expand later on. Let's go ahead and place this up here and get us a, let's go ahead and place a slime sapling up there just for the extra slime, just in case we need it. Now if we go back to our quest book, we'll notice we still need the string, so we need to grow our plants. For now, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll just bone meal this plant until we get it up and running. And I will be back with you as soon as we find a silkworm. And here we are, we've received our first silkworm. Notice it in your inventory, it's a really small item. What we're going to do is we're going to break the rest of this tree. And we are going to get some extra saplings. So when we go ahead and infect our trees, we can make sure we can replant a normal tree. And it looks like we received a second silkworm. We're going to hold on to that for later just in case we need it. So we're going to go ahead and replant our tree. And what we're going to want to do now is grow all of these trees so we can chain the silkworm into all of them. Basically, we want to infect these trees with the silkworm, and that will give us the ability to get some string. So, there we are. We got our trees. Let's just make sure that they're touching. As long as the leaves are close enough, they should be infected. So let's go ahead and get our silkworms. We will infect the inner leaf. You'll notice that under the infected leaves, it'll say infested leaves, and it'll give you a progress bar, just like the barrel. So basically, we just have to sit here and wait. As this progresses, other leaves will be infested with these silkworms, and they will keep growing, growing, and growing until they cover all the leaves they can touch. So we'll go ahead and let that process happen. Our other dirt has gotten done. So once that's done, we'll be back and we will start to get some silk. One more thing I wanted to note while we were waiting on that is important in Agrarian Skies because you don't have a lot of early food. I got kind of lucky with the chicken jerky, but you want to make sure you always, always, always have some sort of way to get up down from your base without jumping. That way, you don't waste hearts jumping up and down. It is important to always do this. This will save you tons of time and tons of food bars. And trust me, if you don't do this, you will probably end up dying of food starvation unless you get lucky like I did. Now I've come over here to this side because we've gotten another piece of dirt. So we're going to go ahead and place our dirt down just to have it. Once we actually get some building material going, we will go ahead and just place all the dirt together, but we want to conserve our dirt as much as we can. As you can see over here, we actually have a fully infested leaf now, and it's starting to infect the rest of the tree. This is exactly what we wanted, so now we just have to wait, and this will perpetually get faster. As you can see here, most of the leaves are starting to turn white. This is when you know they're being infected. You will want to make sure you give this some time to completely infect, because if you break these when they're not 100%, you will not receive string from them, and that's very, very important. You want to make sure you receive string from these. We're going to use the string in a recipe such as sifter, or in the recipe for wool for our bed. And you can also use this string to make dirt in the birch barrel or the oak barrel, to create, a decent supply of dirt. Now that we have quite a few of the leaves completely infected, we're going to go ahead and break a few of the 100% ones with the crook to get string. You'll notice I just got a piece of string. It's not a 100% chance, but it's pretty close to 100%. 3, and there's our 4th piece. And you'll also notice we get more silkworms from those too. Now the first recipe we're going to be creating is the sifter, and what we need to do is create the mariculture fishing net. To do that we need sticks, so we're going to go ahead and create sticks. Once you have the sticks, you put them in the corners. I believe so we're going to need actually 5 string, it appears. Yes, correct, 5 strings. So let's go ahead and get one more string. Oh, there we are. We got lucky and got 2 string from one of them. You can actually get 2. So let's go ahead and make the fishing nets. And then to get the sifter, what you need to do is you click on here. It's 2 sticks, 2 planks, and the fishing net. We should have the items. No, we do not. We do not actually have the sticks. And then we need to make more planks. And there's our sifter. We can hold on to those fishing nets later for mariculture if we wish to use them. Now I'm going to go ahead and place this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come over here to our oak barrel. This isn't really important, but this is the only way I've gotten it to place for some reason. You shift right click, and there you go. You get your sifter. Now what you can do is, if you get one of your saplings, you can come over here, throw it in your sifter, and that should give you a chance at getting grasshoppers. Get a few more saplings to test. There we are, see? We received 2 grasshopper bait, and you can eat these, or you can also use them as bait on a fishing rod. For now, we're just going to eat them. Our tree has been infected quite a bit, so we're going to go ahead and break some of the leaves. Make sure you do not break the tree down because it will cause the leaves to start to despawn. What we're looking for is we're looking to break any of the leaves with 100% just so we can get all the string out of them. So from that tree we received 25 string. That should be enough to get us started, but we're going to go ahead and shave off the bottom of this, just to make sure that these leaves do not despawn. Now once that's good to go, we can go ahead and let that sit there and keep continuing and craft our next recipes. For our next recipes, we need to open our quest book and go to the smoothest silk page. We need a sieve, a fishing rod, a wooden hammer, and a bed. The easiest one to make obviously is the bed. You take your string, put them in a square, and it will give you wool. We need 3 wool to make a bed. Once you have your 3 wool, you just get some planks, throw it on the bottom, get your wool, throw it on top, there's your bed. Now if you ever have nighttime you want to skip, if there's any enemies around, you can skip the nighttime. The next item will be, let's see here, the wooden hammer. The wooden hammer is really easy to make. All you need to do is go ahead and you need 3 sticks and 2 planks. So let's go ahead and make our sticks. There's our planks. Put your sticks like so. Your planks like this. Excuse me, it's 2 sticks and 2 planks. That will allow us to make the wooden hammer. You use this to smash cobblestone into gravel into sand, and the sand into dust, which you can actually use to make clay. Each of those you can also put through what we're about to make to get ores, and this is how you're going to get your ores. Next on the list is the oak sieve. This is what you put the gravel and such through to get the ores. So to make this, we need to go ahead and look up the oak sieve. It requires 4 oak wood planks, silk mesh, which is a 3x3 amount of string, and then 2 sticks. So let's go ahead and create our silk mesh. You just make a full crafting grid of it. You need 2 of those. We need 4 oak wood planks. See, it's lucky we kept those planks. And you need your sticks. So we can go ahead and craft this. We have our sieve. What you want to do is you want to place this sieve somewhere easy to get to, because you're going to be around this a lot from now on. So let's go ahead and break this redstone brick. Now that we got our sieve, what we need to do is we need something to put through this. Now what you put through the sieve is you actually put dirt through this to get your stone. So whenever you get dirt or an extra dirt block, let's go over here and steal a dirt block just to demonstrate. Come up here, you right click it with the dirt. You'll notice it has a percentage at the top. You keep right clicking it until it gets to 100%, and then you'll notice you receive stones. We've only received 3 stones and we actually need 4, so what we need to do is go actually get one more piece of dirt. Go ahead and swap out these stones with the dirt, right click it down. There we are. We've got 7 stones. 4 is enough to make a piece of cobblestone. And there's our first piece of cobblestone. For the next part of the quest, we need a fishing rod. So to make the fishing rod, it's very simple. You need a little bit more string. I believe it's 3 string and 2 sticks if I'm correct. So let's go ahead and break these to get some string. There we are. Now let's go back inside. We can create our fishing rod. And here's our fishing rod. We can go ahead and pull that out. And this will be important because we're going to need to create an item here in a second that will allow us to grow items faster once we get some seeds planted, which we're about to receive from this quest. Now we've got all these items, we can pick a seed we want specifically. Generally here, I pick the sugarcane seeds as I find them the rarest to get. So if you want to go ahead and select this and claim reward, you will get your sugarcane seeds, and you'll be able to move on. You'll also notice that from sifting in the dirt inside of this, I've received a grass seed. Now the grass seed you use to create normal Minecraft grass to get the default Minecraft mobs such as cows and pigs and sheep. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a little platform out to there and make a little pin and then put a bunch of the grass inside of it. Now you'll notice that my hunger bar is about halfway down. We do have 3 apples we can eat, so we may do that, but for now we're going to just hold on to this until we have to. We can go ahead and throw this other quarter heart in here, and the other quarter heart will be used later on once we have one more half heart. Now what we need to do is we need to harvest the rest of this silk as it looks like it's done. So we need to create some more crooks. And there's 5 crooks, that should give us enough. So what we can do is we can go ahead and just start breaking. And now we'll be back as soon as we finish this. As you can see here, I'm starting to get low on food, so I want to go ahead and note that when you're eating food, you get a well-fed buff. So anything that is something like an apple, if you eat it, you want to make sure not to eat them in rapid succession while this well-fed buff is on, because it will allow you to avoid losing hunger while that buff is occurring. So you want to kind of chain eat your food. Just kind of keep an eye on this buff timer. For apples, it's not that long, but later on when you have bread and you're just starting to get your first bread, it'll be very important. And I figured because it's nighttime, I'm going to go ahead and sleep. That way we can get it to be daytime. It's not super vital right this second, but once we have some crops growing, it'll be very important to keep it daytime because the crops do grow much faster during the daytime. And that does include trees too, so it is important for our trees to grow faster. And as you can see, the slime tree is growing ridiculously. It's growing into the building. So we're going to have to take care of that in a little bit. For now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and replant our trees. We're running a little low on food, so I'm a little concerned on how our food's going to end up here in a little while. Once we replant our trees, we can go ahead and come over here to this sifter and toss these in to get some grasshoppers, hopefully. And it appears we have had no luck. So, because we've had no luck with that, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go ahead and grow some of these trees. So we're going to go ahead and sift these trees out until we get some saplings. We want to get enough saplings to get us some grasshopper bait so we can get some food. It's also worth noting we do have this fishing rod. I did not see this until just now. What we can do is, early on, when you have the fishing rod, you can't actually shoot it straight into the pool. It's not going to work for you. What you actually need to do is you need to go into the pool, look straight up as high as you can, peek it down ever so slightly, and right click. And this will allow the buoy to float in the pool. And then you can just sit here and wait for fish. It appears we've caught our first fish. Now these raw fish are going to be very important early on because we're going to just have to eat them raw for now because we don't have a furnace. We only had that one piece of cobblestone. One more thing I'm going to go ahead and note is early on you do not want to create a normal furnace. You actually want to create a slab furnace. Now these slab furnaces can be made from cobblestone slabs, so it's actually cheaper than a normal furnace because you can create cobblestone slabs at a cheaper rate. You could actually use 6 cobblestone instead of 8 cobblestone, which early on it means a lot to only have to use that many. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and get 6 cobblestone and get a decent supply of fish while still having our hunger relatively at a medium level. We don't want it to be too low, obviously, because if we die, that'll take away from our lives, and if that happens, we'll end up losing the game completely. We've got 3 fish. I'm going to go ahead and eat these 3 fish just to get some of my hunger back. I don't want to be draining too fast. What we can do is we'll speed up this fishing a little bit, and I'll be back once we have a decent amount of fish. So we've received the last of our fish, and now we should be able to come back and finish off chopping the wood. Now what we're going to do after we get this done is we are going to keep going through the process of growing trees, getting more saplings, and we're going to use some of this wood to create as a platform and an area to grow these trees. because this is just too small of a space to do this. We want to make sure we keep using our crook to break these leaves because we do need the saplings, and it gives a much higher drop rate, as you can see there. Now that we've got the trees taken care of, what we need to do is we actually need to create our platform. And now I'm going to actually come over here by these slime islands and do the platform that we're wanting to do. So I'm going to take about half of our birch wood, create it into planks, and this is where you need to be very careful. In fact, it's nighttime, so let's go ahead and sleep so we don't get in trouble when we do this. Now that it's daytime and the rain should be clearing up, although that is quite unfortunate because we do like the rain, we need to create our platform. So to create our platform, go ahead and place our oak wood down. You'll notice that there's actually micro blocks down there. Not a big deal, we're just going to create it one off the top. You want to hold shift while you're doing this because you don't want to fall off the edge. It is a long fall, and if you lost all your items just to this, that would be very, very painful. In fact, I probably should store the items, but just for the excitement, I'm going to go ahead and hold on to them. Now you'll see we've gone ahead and made our path. I accidentally placed another block down there, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is create a nice little path where we can walk straight into, not have to worry about falling off the sides, and that'll give us a nice little platform. And now we have a nice, steady path. We don't have to worry about coming out here and falling once we get this worked around, because once we have it completely enclosed, there will be nothing to worry about, unless for some reason this were to catch fire, which would be very unfortunate. Now we've got a nice little 7x7 path. Go ahead and create a barrier around it just to be safe. Later on, we will probably replace some of the insides with dirt. But once we do that, we may actually invest in putting some fences around it, just to make it look nice. I just wanted to note that I've gone ahead and left one of the dirt over here, because in fact we are still going to be growing infected trees. It's going to be important to have infected trees because we're going to need more string. So for this, what we're going to do is we're going to place these one off the sides. Go ahead and put the two in between. That should give us enough room to come in here and then have a steady growth of our trees. There we are. Let's go ahead and we'll harvest down our slime trees and see what we get from them. Just gather some more slime up. Once we get this all done, we'll go ahead and store the slime tree saplings for now. Now that we've got that done, what we can go ahead and do is go ahead and pick up these dirt again. We're going to use these for something else. What we need these for is growing wheat. Now to grow wheat, obviously, you need to have wheat seeds, which we apparently do not currently have. I thought we would have gotten some by now from sifting the dirt. However, we will go ahead and create an area to do this all the same. So we have, let's see, 3 dirt. And be careful when doing this because obviously there's void underneath. Now, this will give us a little area where we can grow our wheat seeds once we get them. Now it's going to be important later on. Once we get another few raw fish, we're going to create something that will enhance the speed of the growth. But we will get back to that once we actually have the items. Gonna go ahead and store saplings in here. Store this stuff in here. And we need to assess what we have. So we got a birch seed, sugarcane seeds, and grass seeds. So, what I think we should do at this time, at least, other than get our pan out, I'm going to go ahead and throw our pan down. I believe we actually need coal to cook with this. We can double check real quick just to see this works. Oh, it does indeed work with the wood, so shouldn't use the oak wood. but we can cook our fish inside of this pan and get an increased amount of food. After a little bit of time, it is cooked our fish, and we've also put some silkworms in here to cook because these are going to be easierly food. Now it appears that our platform, because it's not lighted, has gotten a skeleton on it. This is really dangerous for us because we do not currently want to have a skeleton anywhere near us while we're near the edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to lure them up to this door, block that, and then we are going to wait. Create us a little pit we can sit in. You can kill the skeleton from here, pull him back in. Also appears there's a creeper outside. Let's go ahead and sleep through the night just to get them to die off. The good thing here is we should get some items from the quest we're trying to complete, which we have not actually gone over yet. Kill the zombie here. We've received some bones from there and some rotten flesh. That's very, very important. We have a spider and a few creepers out on our island, so we're going to want to be careful. We do not want them to actually make it over to here. We do not want to blow up the island either, so. There we are. Creeper dispatched. He's been knocked off the edge. We can get the second one. And there's the second creeper dead. It's better to just not deal with him right now. Now for the spider, we're going to have to be very careful. We don't want to get knocked off of here while we kill him. There we are. Some string. And now, should be able to go ahead and replace that. If we go ahead and open our quest book, if you look inside of here, we've actually completed a few quests while we were out and about. So, we can go ahead and claim the rewards. Oh, you need a raw fish for this quest, so if you have a raw fish on you, you're good. Pick a bag. It's random, so you don't have to worry about what you're getting. It'll be random. You get a fishing rod, another cooked fish, and a quarter of a heart. We've also completed the infestation one, because we've made a sifter. And that'll give us some maggot bait and a quarter of a heart with a reward bag. As far as the zombie quest goes, it looks like we haven't completed it. We need to kill 3 zombies, so we actually need to find one more zombie to kill. Let's see if there's any other quests we can complete. We have not started the kitchen quests. We have not started bees and trees for sure. We do not have the items to make these, I don't believe. We might be able to make the first better barrel, but there's no reason to do that, except for the reward bag. We might go ahead and do that. Go with the flow is just a bunch of liquids. We have not completed anything. Bragging rights, we've definitely not completed anything. This has a bunch of quests that show, you know, like you can get all the vanilla items, all thermal expansion, etc. I think for now, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. My name is Xaviar, and this was Agrarian Skies Let's Play episode 1. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below in the comment section, and just let me know what you think of the video. Thanks.